It's the Muppet Show Rewound with our very special guest star, Mr. Steve Martin! Yaaaaay!
And England.
Oh, I'm sorry, England. Alright, gentlemen. We are but a few weeks away from the premiere of the ABC Muppet Show. What is it, like? It's coming...
The 22nd.
So it's coming, like, I'm trying to figure, like, 2 weeks from next Tuesday? 2 weeks from this coming Tuesday? Is that about right?
That sounds right.
Let me check my little calendar really quick. Yeah. Not this Tuesday. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that.
On the 3rd Tuesday.
On the 3rd Tuesday. We will be premiering the Muppet Show, and of course, BlueDragonFive and I, along with special guests such as England and Monkey, when they're able to join us, will be recapping each and every episode of that show, because we are very stoked about that show and very much invested in that show's success.
And we'll be starting with a 10-minute pilot, just to get people warmed up when that time comes.
Sure. But in the meantime, BlueDragonFive, what are we here to do now? After going through a month's worth of fantastic cinematic feature-length Muppet films, what are we here to count down to in the month of September? What are we taking a look at?
We're going back. We're going to the silver screen, where it all really started, folks. We're talking about some key classic episodes of the Muppet Show. Not just our favorites, really kind of some pivotal episodes that really kind of shaped how unique the Muppet Show was, how great, why it's kind of deserving to come back after all these years, you know?
Indeed.
In a route like it's done over time.
So England, you're here, by the way. Welcome.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I kind of glossed over your intro.
He's been in the balcony. He's fine.
Right. You missed Muppet Movie Month, unfortunately, but do you want to kind of give us a little bit of a rundown over your history with the Muppets? Just kind of a 5-minute sort of like, I don't know.
Soliloquy?
Yeah,
soliloquy. It won't be
soliloquy.
5 minutes, but I grew up with Muppets. I watched them. I grew up in Germany, and there were only a few channels that had English-speaking television. And one of them was AFN, AFRTS, Armed Forces Network. And so I grew up watching old stuff. I mean, it was 10, 20 years old. And I was in the 80s. And the Muppet Show was something that my whole family would sit down and we'd watch. And I enjoyed it a lot. I really don't know what else to add to that. I mean,
I think your experience has probably come more so with the movies, right?
well, sort of. I mean, I went and saw the first movie when I was, I don't even remember this, but I was like 3 or 4. And my mom took me, and Miss Piggy came onto the screen. And I'll be frank, okay? My dad is tall. He's like 6'3", okay? And my mom is not so tall. She's like 5'4" or so. And she's rather rotund and always has been. And they love each other, and I really don't want this to sound like a negative story, but...
No, it's adorable, I think.
Well,
Come on.
There's this scene. If you haven't watched the movie, you won't get it. But there's this scene where Kermit meets Piggy. And
oh boy.
my mom, well, no, not my mom, but Miss Piggy, came onto the screen. And I was, like I said, I was like 4 or 5 or something like that. And, I yelled in this theater, "Mom!" And I was like, "Oh, this is my mom," and it for the rest of my life, this has haunted me. She's picked on me about it. She's said stuff, she's like, this was wrong, but I mean, I was 4, and yeah, Miss Piggy looks like my mom. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, she does, completely like my mom, even today. But Yeah, but I'm going to take this on the side. How do you feel about Kermit getting with a younger, skinnier Piglet, if you will?
Oh dear. Oh
We're going to
dear.
breach into future topics.
Oh god.
But,
Oh god. We're gonna go into that territory.
Yeah, we're going to go there.
Okay.
you
Just
with
call Miss
Denise?
Piggy fat. I mean, come on. Let's go.
Yeah. Honestly, I think I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I think it's kind of one of those things where they could really screw it up if they make the character like super unlikable and if they make Kermit like unsympathetic about it. But I also feel like it could potentially lead to some really good humor. So.
Well, from the little glimpse I got of Denise, she seems very pleasant. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with her. I love the idea that they're using. I love the meta idea that they're using the old Miss Piggy model for Denise. I could be wrong.
Good point.
I
No,
could
that's
be. You know what's interesting? I could be wrong here, and you gotta check it to find out. But I saw 2 images of her. Okay, so I saw from the 10-minute pilot. It's the old model of Miss Piggy. That's why it caught my eye. I was like, oh my god, it's like the exact same model from the Muppet Show, and kind of they remodeled her a little bit from the Muppet movie, and of course they perfected it onward with Caper onward. So it's the perfected Miss Piggy model. But it's the Muppet Show Miss Piggy that's in the new Muppet Show. And now, when I saw they released again, this always kind of bugs me when they cover old news on Yahoo News and whatnot. Like, we already know this, but they showed an image of Denise, Kermit the Frog putting up a tweet of Denise or something, or mentioning her or something. It's like advertising, good for them. But I noticed something. The Muppet for Denise, she looks different. The complexion is different. It's more pink. Again, I don't know if there's going to... Well, you have to see how the show turns out.
So is this a changeover from the pilot, you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. It might be. I'm just saying the image that
because
they showed...
basically everything we saw from the trailer, as far as I could tell, was also from the pilot.
Yeah, all the trailer stuff is from the pilot.
Which is interesting, considering we basically have not seen any real footage from the actual show.
And I mean, all the stuff from that trailer is directly from the 10-minute pilot.
So that's exciting to me. There's an air of just we don't really know what this holds. And I want it to be good, England. I want it to be good, but I can totally, if you have reservations about it, I can totally see your reservations.
I still think it's Muppets trying to parody Seinfeld. I mean,
more The Office than Seinfeld.
Okay, I'll grant that. The Office.
Yeah.
But
which is a double-edged sword, because The Office could be really, can be really good. It can be really bad sometimes.
Well, the British version was better, but the British version of most TV shows.
Isn't the British version of most things better?
Yeah.
Well, didn't it have Ricky Gervais in it?
Yeah, The Office. Yeah, that's what.
Of course, is hilarious. Given that he's in Muppets Most Wanted.
But I think my
it would be great if Ricky Gervais showed up in this new show as his character from The Office.
That would be hilarious.
That would be awesome. I agree. That would be fantastic. But
they all think he's Dominic, and he's just like, I have no idea who this Dominic bad guy person is.
It's pronounced Badgie. Means good man.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I mean, I don't have an issue necessarily with them rebooting it, but I wish they would go back to the original format.
It's a definite risk.
Tonight, I mean, it's well. Did you watch Muppets Tonight? I mean, this is going to come up later, I assume.
Yeah, then we might breach on Muppets Tonight if we have time at some point.
Well, if you haven't watched it, it's bad. It's really bad.
That's when they introduced
England, I think I'm going to leave it to you to pick out the very worst episode of Muppets Tonight that you can find, and we will cover that, okay?
Okay, done.
Of course, Muppets Tonight, we got some interesting characters.
Yeah, no, moving on. I'll share with you, Tiki, later.
Okay, fair enough.
But should we get back to our tonight's Muppet
Show?
Yeah,
really quick, though, England, since you shared a really embarrassing story from childhood about you blurting something out, I will do the same, just so we're even, all right? Just so the embarrassment is spread all around.
Wait, real quick, I can't help but picture older people saying, "Oh, I mean, remember that one 4-year-old kid that just yelled out, Mom, when this."
Okay, so hear me out.
I'm gonna add one thing first, Tiki. All right.
Yeah.
Good. We went to a used bookstore, which is not a thing now. You don't see these. and I was about
there's a couple of them in my area, but yeah,
well,
they're definitely.
I was about 10 or 11, and I
Uh-huh.
found this book that was like Miss Piggy Saves the World or
Oh,
something
no.
like that. And I bought
no.
that with
Can I
my own money.
piggyback off
This
the
was
story?
no, I was at the age where you're trying to teach your kid how money works and all this other stuff. So I bought this for my mom, and I gave it to her for her birthday, and
Uh-huh.
she unwrapped it and cried. And this was
Aw.
how I learned about the entire backstory about me.
Oh, okay.
About mom and all that.
All right.
Nice,
So,
nice.
so there you go. I'm done with the backstory. Sorry about it, but
No, don't worry about it.
Hey, real quick, can I get into my little Muppet-related backstory real
Yeah,
quick?
piggyback.
Yeah, I just want to say, because he brought up the book, I
Okay.
remember when I was a kid, I read one of those Muppet books, kind of just one of the character-based books, just like mainly for kids. I just remember loving the heck out of it. It was Gonzo and Rizzo go grocery shopping, and I absolutely loved it. I'm just saying, it was just so, again, I love the mundane. Maybe that's where one of my loves of mundanity came from. Just, yeah, there's some grocery shopping. What else? Yeah, they're buddies and they go grocery shopping. That's awesome.
Okay, I'm going to piggybacking off your nostalgia. Because this is really going.
Remember?
Yes.
Piggy.
So you guys know the Sebastian, like Bob Marley, the Sebastian Reggae Party videotape, right?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
The Sebastian, like, Caribbean Jamboree or whatever. It was a
Talking
sing-along
about
videotape.
Yeah,
And it had, like, Bob Marley music and everything. Well, my point is, I vividly remember that as a little kid. I vividly remember that. What I don't remember as a little kid, which blew my mind when I watched it later, was it was all shot in Typhoon Lagoon. And I remember none of that from when I was a little kid. I don't, like... They have, like, crystal clear shots of, like, the boat on the rock, and I remember none of that as a little kid, and it's weird. It's weird how the memory, like, remembers certain things, but not other things. Anyways, embarrassing story before we get into Mr. Steve Martin. We're making Mr. Martin wait, and he's getting very impatient. He's waiting backstage.
Well, no, he's dry cleaning his shorts right now. He's fine.
Exactly. The show has been canceled.
Right.
I mean, come on. He's going to come out in his shower cap. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
It's not like he has anything better to do. He didn't even get to be in the episode, really.
Okay.
Exactly. They have to audition new talent tonight.
I mean, he's officially not a guest star. You'll let me tell.
No, not at all.
So why are we even talking about this guy? No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. Who the hell is
Yeah, Steve Martin has no relevance to the Muppets whatsoever.
Not like he won the first Golden Short Shorts award or anything.
Oh dear. He wore those short shorts, man. He rode.
He filled
God.
those pants.
Okay.
He earned those pants.
So, anyways, okay. So, me and my mom and dad were at this. I couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 years old, and we're at this really fancy restaurant in somewhere along like the Bodega Coast, Northern California, and it's just this really fancy place. And I remember it had this big statue of like this woman who was a very, very rotund-looking woman. With,
that word of the episode, by the way, rotund. It's so fancy.
With a considerably large behind, a bear behind, mind you, in statue form, a considerably large one.
Okay.
Okay, so we're in the restaurant.
Yes.
And me and my, we're just surrounded by all these fancy people and everything because it's a very fancy restaurant.
Certainly.
And so me and my 3-year-old self, I'm just like, when are we going to go look at the woman with the big butt? So,
I'm not seeing how this ties in the Muppets, per se.
I'm just with solidarity with England, because if he shared an embarrassing story, I'll share an embarrassing story.
But it could be Muppet-related, though. That might
I don't think I have any Muppet-related embarrassing stories. Unless it's just the embarrassment of me just, like, walking around campus, like, blaring Life's a Happy Song out of my iPods at full blast and not caring.
You see, that would have been the more appropriate choice aside from the statue behind. So.
Okay, well, I do that every day, and it's an embarrassment. I'm a man-child. I'm a Muppet of a man. What do you want from me?
He's a very manly Muppet.
No, I'm not manly at all. So I can't even call myself that. I have to go with the Muppet of a man.
He's a Muppet of a man.
I'm a Muppet of a man.
I appreciate the bear butt, but by the same right, you didn't call your mom a pig.
Very true.
She was the most charismatic pig in the history of cinema, though.
Well, true, and she's my mom.
Who's her competition? Like Wilbur from Charlotte's Web? Babe?
Yeah.
No.
That pig faded into obscurity.
Perhaps my parents, okay? Like I'm really digging myself a hole here, but my dad is skinny and very quiet.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, I know where this is going.
Is short and rotund. I love her to death, but she is rather large, and is outspoken. Let's put it that way. I mean,
Okay.
I grew up with a household where when I got in trouble, it wasn't Dad who was the issue.
Frog!
It was Mom. If I got sent to talk to Mom, it was a bad thing.
Oh, dear.
Very bad thing. Yeah. So, but, you know...
And your dad would just kind of be like, well, you kind of did a bad thing there.
Pig walk!
That, Tiki, exactly that.
Oh, speaking of which, we'll get into it, but I think Kermit is kind of an asshole in this episode to a certain extent.
Oh, no.
It's a little shocking.
Oh, well, sort of.
Specifically to Gonzo.
But
He's straight up rude to Gonzo, and I was like, whoa, that is not the Kermit I know from frickin' Rainbow Connection.
Well, he's still the master of ceremonies. I mean, like, what is Kermit supposed to do? I mean,
No, you're absolutely right, and that's kind of the big difference between the theatrical Muppet films and the Muppet Show. Is that in the Muppet films... I mean, in the Muppet films, Kermit can be stressed, but the Muppet Show, Kermit is literally he's...
He's stressed on a daily basis in the Muppet Show, you know?
Exactly.
I think what bothers me about the later Muppet stuff, even the stuff that his son has done with Henson Studios, is that they try to capture that original. I don't know. Henson and Frank Oz had this really unique blend. You know, they created these amazing characters that were parodies of real people.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
can't carry that on. I mean, I even watched the stuff in the 90s, and it's, like Muppet Treasure Island, for example. And it's
We all agree Muppet Treasure Island is not the greatest Muppet movie.
It doesn't hold up as well as it may.
I had to watch it 3 times on the cruise when I was on the fence.
Oh, dear.
My kid loves it.
I got cabin fever. Me too.
She loves it, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
I mean, to be fair, you could be watching worse kids' movies than Muppet Treasure Island. You could.
Yeah, I'll take Tim Curry over Planet Sheen any day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would rather shoot myself than watch Planet Sheen.
Oh, God. Okay.
But on to the episode.
In the foot.
Yes, on to the episode, please. Sorry, Mr. Martin.
Well, he's not in the episode.
He's not in the episode. No, he's not.
He's behind the scenes of the episode.
Yeah, he's got his arrowhead hat thing going on right now.
Yes.
Okay, so...
I love how it's like every episode of the Muppet Show. It seems like it's a good tradition. Scooter walks in like 30 seconds to curtain, Mr. Martin. And then I love how every time it pans to the celebrity, they're doing something ridiculously goofy, but they just seem so in their element. You know what I mean? They just seem so comfortable about it.
That was such a brilliant conceit with that show. Whenever they just start
with Alice Cooper just hanging out with all the monster-looking Muppets.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
You know, give the celebrity a good one-liner, then you start the episode. It's like, hey, you're gonna like this guy.
So yeah, as England said, he's Martin's got his whole arrow through the head act, and Scooter, he's just like, oh, he'll feel right at home. And then Kermit introduces the show. Statler and Waldorf's line of the episode, which we will be charting throughout the series, is the opening gag is, I like the old opening better! Ho, 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 ho. And then BlueDragonFive, what do we see with the Gonzo gag?
So then, of course, in classic Muppet fashion, Gonzo plays his trumpet, but it doesn't go quite right. He plays it, in this case, he has cool-looking green smoke coming out of it.
I love how he just casually is just like, green smoke.
Oh, Gonzo.
Okay.
Then we start the Muppet Show, but it's not as it usually is. This is a great episode to kind of look into, because this is, again, one of the memorable, unique episodes, because there is no episode, really.
Yeah, it really breaks the formula. It really does.
So Kermit comes on stage, like he usually does. Comes out to introduce the show, but he announces, sorry, folks, a little scheduling error. There is no show.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, he's telling everyone there is no show because this is the point of they're looking for new acts. So basically a scheduling issue, like the show is supposed to be next week or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, I guess so. And then Statler and Waldorf are up on the balcony. Maybe tonight's show's been canceled. And
Yeah.
just like,
And it has
well,
been
show's
canceled.
been canceled.
For free.
Yeah, I just love the idea. This is interesting. So
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah,
apparently-
Kermit misread the calendar. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Mhm.
There was a scheduling issue. He misread it. So he's like,
Right.
we're actually looking for new acts. He says, oh, I bet it's canceled. In fact, folks, it is canceled. Oh, just like they hoped.
I like the gesture that Kermit gives of like, well, you can stay and watch the acts if you want, but they probably won't be very exciting.
Oh, I got a fun fact for you guys about this. This is actually interesting in the episode. This is one of the few, if not the only, episodes of the Muppets where there is no laugh track, technical laugh track. If there's any laughing, it's done by the actual Muppeteers in the audience, or like
really? Okay.
So basically, the only laugh, because you remember, it's only the Muppets in the audience who are watching Steve Martin act and all that, doing his stuff and all that. So the Muppets who are in the audience, those are the ones who are laughing off screen. That's really the only laugh they have. I mean, they added here and there was a smidge of it because Richard Hunt laughed so loud during inappropriate times they had to add a laugh track over it.
Right.
A little bit, but yeah. It's still so pretty impressive. Steve Martin, it feels like such a close personal dynamic. Just Steve Martin entertaining the Muppets in their off time. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So Steve Martin comes on stage. You want to take us through this? So he hears that, okay, there's going to be no show, and they're looking for a new act. So Steve Martin, he's caught off guard by this. What's he look like?
A fool.
But, I mean, he look different than he usually would.
No, it looks normal. I mean, and around this time, his movie had just come out. I forget what it's called, The Idiot or something like that.
The Jerk.
Yeah, The Jerk.
I love The Jerk. It's a great movie.
He played this character throughout the entire thing.
David Johnson.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, but he played that character. He wasn't Stephen Martin outside of a few scenes. He played that character the whole time, I think. That's my opinion.
I mean, he comes out and he's in a shower cap. And he's...
Well, yeah, and he puts it on Kermit's head. Kermit, I actually really like the fact that they kept the shower cap on Kermit's head when he kicked everybody out of the theater. That was that was pretty neat. But
delivers his famous line.
well,
Oh God.
But I mean, what else was Steve Martin going to do? I mean, he did a Fozzie Bear style routine with the balloons, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's coming up later.
Yeah, it's but I'm saying Steve Martin coming out there, he's bothered by the fact that there's no show. Well, if you're gonna do this, I like to know about it. Well, excuse me.
Hold on,
Wait,
hold on.
Actually,
Wait.
bring up something. I wonder if that's where that came from. That term. Excuse.
Hold on. Wait one
Yes.
sec. Wait one
What?
sec.
What?
I got it. Hold on.
Well, excuse me, princess.
See my point? I mean, it's such a popular thing for the 90s and early 2000s to say, well, excuse me. I mean, what's his name? The
Link.
nerd. What's that?
Sorry, is it like Link? The excuse me, princess.
No, well, no, I meant the nerd from TGIF. Urkel. How, did that come from there? I mean, was that the inspiration?
I don't know, maybe. But I'm saying Steve Martin, to my knowledge, is the first one to really kind of use the excuse me. You make it stick. But England, can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry, making sure we have no audio issues, folks.
Well, go ahead.
No, not yet. Nothing. I was just testing it. We're good. So anyway, so after the excuse me, after the little shower capier, Kermit, tells everyone there, and they're like demanding, "Oh, how much are we paying in this show?" Says, "Well, the tickets are free for the tickets were free. Well, you get what you paid for." That's gonna be kind of the running gag throughout, Let me ask you this: what do you think of the Muppet Show tickets actually being free?
What's that?
What do you think of the Muppet Show tickets being free?
I think it's a running joke, like you said.
Yeah, well,
Go ahead.
I mean, like the business practice on the Muppet, like practicality sake, like okay, they give away free tickets. Well, how do they keep the place running?
If tickets are free, then why are you watching it? And that, I think, ties into the mentality of the people that are watching it. Makes the humor more accessible. You don't pay anything for television at that time. You watch it. It was broadcast on public channels, and you bought a television that would tie into those public channels. And I think that was a kind of a knock at people who produce things for money. And Henson himself was really against all of that mindset, if you will. He thought that the television was very important to grow children, to develop people, because it exposed you to things without having to actually travel. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah, it makes sense. Real quick, Tiki, can you hear us? Tiki, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
We got audio issues from you, Tiki. We can't hear you right now. So you want us to keep going?
I guess.
Okay, yeah, we're just gonna keep going. Tiki fixes
All right.
things.
So, move on, Blue. Let's talk about the rest of the episode.
Sure.
Cut out.
So Fozzie's worried about being replaced this whole episode. He kind of brings that up there. He's recruiting new acts, and of course Fozzie terrifies him. Now, yeah, you're good now.
Okay, good. Well, hold on. If you, I want to go through the Fozzie stuff because it's kind of my favorite part of the episode.
That's where we left off.
Okay, cool. So as you know, if you watch the Muppet Movie Month, I'm very sentimental towards Fozzie Bear. I think that probably the most moving and tear-jerking thing in the entire Muppet canon is maybe Fozzie Bear, the image of Fozzie Bear in the boxcar and saying goodbye when he's got the little teddy bear next to him. It's like, oh, Fozzie, he's alone with this freaking teddy bear. That's so sad. That's so sad, man. So anytime that Fozzie Bear is like worried about, being fired or whatever, just having any sort of anxiety or anything, I just think he's really relatable. I think out of all the Muppets, he's probably like the everyman of the group in a way, in a weird sort of way. I mean, Kermit is definitely like, Kermit you could say is the everyman, but he's also kind of larger than life in terms of
the every frog.
Yeah. So, I don't know, I just think Fozzie Bear, for some reason, he is, like, the one, like, a lot of the times when the Muppets fail, it's for comedic purposes, and I think with Fozzie Bear, every time he fails, it's like, it pulls on the heartstrings. I don't know, it's like you genuinely, I feel, are rooting for Fozzie's success more than any other character on the show, besides maybe Kermit himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, but at the same right, I mean, Fozzie recycles other people's stuff for contemporary analogy.
I'm not saying he's good at what he does. The whole gag is that he's a bad comedian.
No, yeah, but contemporary analogy.
I'm just saying they make him sympathetic.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for contemporary analogy, he's like someone who watches a YouTube video, thinks it's awesome, and then tries to make his own and fucks it all up.
Oh, so you mean like So You Want to Be an Imagineer YouTube channel?
Let's not get too meta here, folks. we're gonna crack a wall or something if we keep talking like this.
I'm sorry, I had to do that. You set me up.
Leave the fourth wall breaking the Deadpool, Tiki. Come on.
Okay.
But two things with Fozzie Bear, with like him being such a lovable, likable guy, Bear. Two things, running gags from the Muppet Show and just in general, Fozzie Bear always loved. I'm not sure if we're going to get him within the episodes we're going to cover this time around, but I was watching like funny moments of Fozzie and Kermit from the Muppet Show, and one of my favorite things, they have this episode, I don't know which one it is, but it's basically they have like a running gag counter, very much the Muppet in the backstage, the phone keeps ringing. And Fozzie keeps answering. It's always a gag. It's like the water department, the fire department, like water's coming out of the phone and smoke's coming out of the phone. And it's hilarious. Like they're just showing how great Kermit and Fozzie are together. It's like Kermit, after like just witnessing all these bad puns, he runs over to the phone, and Fozzie's just happy-go-lucky, like, yeah, waka waka waka. He wants to, with so much glee, he wants to answer that phone because he loves. But Kermit, all this funny stuff happens whenever he answers the phone. Like just him so gleefully running over to the phone. Kermit saying, "No, don't answer it. Do not answer it."
Okay, so we can all agree that Fozzie's lovable.
Yeah. Also, the subtle action he does, like I love it whenever Fozzie Bear like holds a smaller Muppet within his hands when he gets all afraid for him. Like Rizzo the Rat and then Kermit the Frog always like holds him real close when things get tense. It's adorable. But yeah. So Fozzie Bear, he's tense about losing his job.
This is just so relatable. It really is.
Yeah. It's like Rex from Toy Story when you think about it. It's like
in a way. Oh my God! Yeah, it totally is.
I can't handle that kind of rejection.
Don't be another dinosaur. Please don't be another dinosaur.
That's really good.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay, so then we have, let's see. So we got the Latrell Sister Can group.
Well, hold on. I really like the line where Kermit's like, let's see. He's like, I'm sorry.
Replacements.
Yeah, we need some new blood. And then Fozzie, he's just like, oh, why didn't he tell me he wanted me to bleed? Like a little bit of dark humor in there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then we get the Latrell Rat Sister Can, which is kind of odd. But
which I think is probably the closest thing we get to a standard Muppet Show act throughout this episode. Do you guys agree?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that it's just kind of your typical sort of filler, like, fun little gag.
Well, that comes later, too. We get, like, another definite Muppet Show gag later on with the weird, the plant Koozebane group.
That's true. But, no, I always, I've grown a fond appreciation for the rat-style Muppets in going through all the Muppet movies, seeing how well they use them.
That's interesting. I can't really recall rewatching this, Dick. I couldn't really recall ever seeing the rats in the Muppet Show on that point. This is the first time I saw the rats in the Muppet Show.
Oh, really?
Bear in mind, it's been a while since I've seen the old Muppet shows. Like, you know the whole thing as a whole, but you can't kind of forget all the individual episodes after a while.
Sure.
I mean, they all kind of run together aside from the bits with the celebrities in them, you know?
Yeah, the celebrity bits are definitely the ones that kind of like rise to the top of the pop culture landscape for sure.
Yeah.
They weren't there. That's the reason. The rat stuff came later.
Yeah, I mean,
And
these are...
It really took off with Takes Manhattan, right?
Yeah, and the Great Muppet Caperhead rats, they were bellhops.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying Muppets
They
Takes Manhattan, they were like a pivotal part of that
you
movie.
had characterization in that one, but they were like bellhops in Caper.
Is you've got a production company, Muppets, who really hit to the core of a lot of people. I mean, another great Muppets thing that people don't talk about are the, for example, the Christmas story that they had. Not
The Dark Crystal?
No.
Oh, you mean the one, the Christmas toy?
No, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I've heard of it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It was groundbreaking at the time for the animation they were doing, but it culturally was a flop. Nobody cared. Nobody gave a damn. Frankly.
All people really cared about was the fact Kermit the Frog introduced it, really.
Right.
Exactly. And they moved away from that sort of thing. So, you know, I really like what the old Muppets did, but to recapture that sarcasm that they had, social sarcasm, is really hard to do today. I mean, they can't.
They're taking a stab at it, though. That's what the new show is aiming to be. It's aiming to be a modern stab at social satire.
Yeah,
but it looks like a '90s sitcom. I mean, I'm not impressed.
Okay. Well,
we'll see.
I don't think we've seen any footage from the actual show, so I'm just reserving judgment. I'm definitely walking in being cautiously optimistic about it. I mean, like, it's the Muppets, so there's always the possibility that it can be great because the characters themselves are just, they're so lovable and, you can just put them in a lot of situations.
Yeah,
but I respect the Muppets so much that I understand what you're saying, England.
Well, but the same right, they did do, the Muppets what Star Trek, J.J. Abrams did to Star Trek. I mean, come on, this is. I can't. I hope it goes well. I really do.
Well, I still want my Muppet Star Wars. Believe me, I still want that to happen.
Oh, that would be awesome. I agree.
Right?
Mella is Padme.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
But that would mean Camilla would have to have a romantic relationship with
Gonzo Skywalker.
Oh yeah, Gonzo would be that would totally work then, because Gonzo's Vader. Okay, cool, yeah.
Okay, let's see. So after, sorry, England, what?
That's the toy of yourself.
Okay, let's see. So then we got. This is an interesting running game. I thought this was kind of clever. This is interesting. I forgot how kind of clever they could be with this sort of stuff. You got Mary Louise and Friend. Now, this running gag, there's this one particular Muppet who has a musical singing act with the friend who is always a. Yeah, the frog, yeah. Always.
He looks like a very, very old model of Kermit, basically.
Yeah, like one of the Sam and Friends days.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, basically a plain frog, a frog without as much personality. One just says, this one's goal in life is just to say ribbit in the middle of songs. So again, clever. It's a simple premise. It's clever. But the way they make it clever is how they keep bringing it back, which we'll get into. But so Mary Louise is singing Swanee River, but it's Swanee Ribbit, and then the Muppets don't really think I like that, and then Give him the vaudevillian king. Get out of there.
I love how the Shepherd's King comes back at the end.
Oh yeah, see it pays off. Again, there's
It definitely pays off.
Initially, see, without those follow-ups, it'd just be a non sequitur of like, okay, they need something to fill some time, but no, they turn into something, which is impressive.
They absolutely do, yeah.
And we got Chef and Floyd.
Oh God. Okay. So Chef, he's just like choppy on a chicken.
He's not pleased.
No, he's so pissed off.
He's
that he
airing
wants
out
to
some
cut
grievances with
chicken.
Floyd.
Oh dear. You know what my favorite part of the Muppets interrogation song is? Like,
what?
I don't remember if this is in the actual movie, but it is in the soundtrack, where they have the Swedish Chef, and then Ty Burrell, he's like, "Oh, please provide a translation," and then there's a guy that just comes on, he's like, "What the chef just said was flimdy flu. It's not Swedish."
That's from the extended
That's in the
version.
movie. Oh, that's in the extended. That's what I thought.
If it's on the soundtrack, that means it was in the extended version.
It's on the soundtrack, yeah.
Yeah.
I just laugh at that every time. It's not Swedish. Okay, anyways. But yeah, I love when Chef gets violent. And of course, Chef getting violent is kind of like the whole basis of the Muppet.
Well, remember,
Vision
Tiki, he
finale.
murdered a bunch of food in the Muppets, remember?
Yeah, right.
He lit them on fire.
Oh God.
Don't you remember? He took a flamethrower to the old fridge in the Muppet Theater, and he incinerated.
I feel like the Swedish Chef is kind of like the incognito serial killer of the Muppet group.
No, it's like Dexter, like the Dexter version of the Chef.
Oh God.
And basically, the inner monologue is Michael C. Hall, but he just speaks like the Swedish Chef.
Flimdy flu.
And when people are strapped down with the plastic wrap, they're just freaking out. It's like, what is he saying? That thing.
Flimdy flu, chicky. Flimdy
And then, of course, he takes a big old butcher's knife, and then... Okay, but moving on from our farcical delusions of grandeur. We have Steve, we got Steve back, Steve Martin, performing.
I want that to be a thing now, I'm sorry. Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, Steve's back. England, this is where we get, I believe, the Fozzie Bear style animal balloons, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is a great bit. So he's like, he's going to make the balloons, but he's not going to blow them up.
Because he doesn't want to repeat himself.
Right. Of course, makes total sense.
Again, I love the simple notion that, again, this feels like such a meta episode in this regard. Like, Steve Martin's entertaining the Muppeteers, really.
He is.
And they just get some genuine laughs from the Muppets, from this guy, him doing his routine in front of him, like just not blowing up balloons and making them into stuff, or just blow up the balloons and not tying them into any discernible shape.
And then he has a great gag where he says he's filling up a balloon with words. And if they pop, they go, "Gosh darn it!"
And I love how Scooter is his assistant. I love how Steve Martin's pals with Scooter. I like how he's warming up the Scooter. It's nice. It's pleasant.
I think a lot of the celebrity guest stars warm up to Scooter.
Right, he's the one accused them. They have to.
Yeah,
have some sort of
exactly.
respect. But, it's nice. Like, Scooter's helping him out with this act on stage. It's nice. Listen, if you ever see like kind of the the opening little recap photo for any of the Muppet things, it's always like Steve Martin and Scooter in the dressing room. That's usually the shot people go with because that's him with the arrow in his head.
Of course.
Yeah, it's always a little kind of
Either
moralizing.
that or the banjo.
Yeah, it's always kind of moralizing Scooter with Steve Martin in a way.
Mhm.
It's kind of nice.
Okay.
So I lost the puppy dog hat, the lousy puppy dog hat.
And oh my God, I freaking love Rolf's reaction. Rolf's reaction might be my favorite moment in the whole episode. He's just like, "Oh, that's so good. It's so cute." It's like Rolf is just so genuinely amused by this.
Well, Rolf was the whimsical soul.
Oh my God.
And remember
Okay.
the origin of the balloons. How does he get his balloons?
Oh yes. So he goes to the balloon ranch, and he steals baby balloons from the nest.
Because
Adult balloons are stupid.
and what happens? England, what happens after he denounces adult balloons?
putting England on the spot here. I don't think he's got as comprehensive notes as we do.
Sorry. England, you there?
Yep.
Sorry. Yeah,
Just
basically,
making sure.
he's attacked by big balloon.
Oh boy.
And he won after. I love how disheveled he looks after like coming out from the violent encounter he had with the balloon. And Gonzo loved it, and he says, "You should make that into a film."
Oh yeah.
I just love Gonzo giving Steve Martin career advice. That just to me is hilarious.
And then at some point, doesn't he step on the balloon and he goes, "Gosh darn it!"
Yep.
Okay. Now we have another
Terry
next to the
Louise.
running gag. Terry Louise.
Terry Louise and friend, old oak tree.
Ribbit. Shepherd's cane brings him off, and then we have oh god.
You take us through this one. Someone take us through
Do
this one.
you have the name? I have.
Baskerville Hound.
Okay, Basketville.
Like Baskerville, get it like the Hounds of Baskerville.
Okay, Baskerville Hound. Okay. So this
Like
is basically
Vaudeville, but
just.
with Baskerville, get it?
Oh, okay, I got it. So it's basically like a dog version of Fozzie. Just like, I am so funny. And then Fozzie, he is not pleased in the slightest.
Stealing Fozzie's act, he's not pleased about it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Fozzie takes this personally.
Then Kermit tries to reassure Fozzie, and then... and then...
Then we have Letty the Lizard.
as auditioning for an MC role,
Yes.
and Kermit the Frog gets his Muppets there. So you want to talk about Kermit getting Kermit's characterization with this gag, or...
Well, I want to talk about Kermit's characterization more with Gonzo. I think that's where it kind of sticks out for me.
We'll hold off for Gonzo. Okay.
Yeah, but I think this is understandable, and I love the joke how it's like, I really like humor like this, where the one character is like, trying to rationalize with the other character, and then something happens that makes them go completely into the other character's mindset.
Yep.
It's just really clever setup.
Then we got our act from Planet Coosbane.
Oh boy.
Before Fubzoobs.
Yeah, so these are, how long have these guys been around?
Coosbane's been around for a long time.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Definitely kind of,
I remember
iconic
Kermit
to
the
the
Frog.
Muppets.
I remember the first time I saw these guys, to my recollection, and maybe the first time they appear. I could be wrong, but it's Kermit the Frog narrating on the Coosbane mating ritual, and they said being wacky in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Coosbanians.
So
It's fun
they're,
saying Coosbane, by the way. I just want to say that. I love saying Coosbane.
but it's not as fun as saying Hugby.
True. Hugbees! England, join us in a chorus of Hugbees.
Hugbees.
Hugbees! Go on. Yeah!
I don't think he gets the joke.
Freeze.
He's a little lost right now.
It's a freeze. Okay, let's...
They took out the motorboat ride. How could they take out the motorboat ride?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Not the little motorboats.
No.
So I love the pain reaction from that one guy. We don't have time to get into that. We're just gonna move on. We got Kermit and Gonzo here. So Gonzo has an idea for a new act, but Kermit won't listen to him.
Kermit, I think, is very short with Gonzo in this moment.
Now,
I
to
think
be
it's
fair,
almost a little unnecessary.
Now this is characterized how Kermit would kind of perceive this thing. All the time Gonzo's giving him some bad pitches, and Kermit doesn't want to listen. So it's not just the first time this has happened.
I hear you.
So to be fair, I mean, this is how Kermit usually, plus he has got a lot of things on his plate, and, it's pretty frustrating, and he's just saying, and remember, the idea is, like, the way this plays out is Gonzo just brings up the idea no matter what, then Kermit gets intrigued whether he wants to know about it or not. The dancing cheese. Dancing cheese?
Mm-hmm.
just love him saying, shooting him down, says, I'm going to tell you anyway, dancing cheese! And this Kermit's just like, dancing cheese? It's ridiculous.
Well, I think when Kermit's just like, I won't listen. I don't know. I think that's a little harsh.
No, he says he's pretending to listen. That's the harsh part. He's just saying, no, I'm just killing time, so I'm going to listen.
Right.
Until something better comes along. And then he says, well, how are you going to dance with that cheese? Basically insinuating the cheese is male. He says, it's a she? Yes, if I dance with a male cheese, that looked weird.
Of course it would.
Anyway, so Scooter
Not as weird as your frickin' ugly alien counterparts from Muppets in Space.
You really have it out for that movie, you know that?
Yes, I do.
How do you assign gender cheese?
Well, it depends how many holes it has.
Well, I suppose. Swiss has a hole
there. Good job. Good job.
Okay, so Scooter.
I'm really behind on my sound effects, but I feel like I need to insert a proper.
Hey. Well, that hurt my feelings. I give you gold cheese and you give me womp womp womp. How dare you, sir? That's a glove to my face right there. I'm not pleased with that.
Here.
Okay, I'm feeling a little better. Moving on to Gonzalez and Yolanda.
Yes, yes.
I gotta tell you, it's kind of impressive.
It is, yeah, but I wonder how Camilla feels about Gonzo dancing with this female.
This might have been before they met, actually. I'm not sure.
It might have been? Okay.
No, I think Gonzo's a bachelor in these days. I'm not sure, because he had like a lot of chickens. Because there was the live-action chicken, remember?
No, I don't.
Yeah, there were some episodes where there'd be a live-action chicken that Gonzo would be looking into.
Oh, dear.
I mean, sometimes they experiment with it. Sometimes it'd be a real chicken. Usually then they just kind of guess they figured, a little too difficult, we're going to stick to Camilla.
So this act really, it goes exactly as Gonzo planned for once, because, Gonzo's just standing there kind of doing some tap dancing, and then she's doing all the elaborate dance moves.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, it looks impressive. Like, how they got the legs to move like that was just dancing with this cheese. That cheese is cutting the rug, seriously.
Okay. So we have Carrie Louise
and friends. And they're singing Old Man Ribbit.
Oh, man, ribbit.
And then
we get the payoff to the shepherd's cane.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
So, who is it?
It is none other than Miss Piggy herself. And her one line of the episode, but it's so good. It's like you miss the presence of Piggy, but then it's there, and it's like, oh, okay, there we go. We got our Piggy fix for the episode. So she's like, I keep telling you, I'm the girl singer on this show.
Yeah, I love that. That's her. It was like a little cameo in this episode. So that's her one little bit in the episode.
Right, and it works so well. Okay, so I'd wager to say this might be the most iconic part of the episode, the Rambling Guy.
Oh, wait, so England, you were saying something?
No, I was just saying fuck.
Oh.
Is everything okay?
Sorry.
Oh, sure. That's my mom.
All right.
I'm the only singer. That's my mom.
We enjoy England's mom.
Yes,
she's very pleasant, very charismatic on screen.
She birthed.
She seems like she could be a handful at times, but
she can be a ham.
Aren't we all?
She can ham it up.
Something like that. But
enough with the pig puns, creep.
Sorry. Okay, so then we got Steve Martin appearing again with his namesake.
Oh yes.
His namesake trait,
He's a rambling guy.
A rambling guy with a banjo.
Oh yeah. So not much to this. It's just really damn good banjo playing.
I love the gag of you're gonna get your money's worth.
Right, oh yeah.
How would you pay for these tickets? Free. We're going to get your money's worth.
And they get their money's worth and then some. So Steve Martin still tours with his band playing banjo. Like right now, he does that more than act.
Well, there's a man who's committed to the banjo.
That's what I'm saying, right? Right? Like, he's a professional banjo player.
He's even whistling, and he's speaking Chinese. Whether it's legit Chinese or not, I can't tell you.
That's what I really respect about Steve Martin, is that he's not just a guy who gets up there and says funny jokes he's a guy that really kind of innovated the craft of stand-up comedy in a way. You know what I mean? He brought a lot of things to it that other comedians just had flat out never tried before. Or if they hadn't tried, like if comedians came up with a banjo or something like that, like Steve Martin was certainly the guy to perfect that sort of act.
Yeah, it's like, you know, he's kind of a more accepted version of an Andy Kaufman, just bringing new things to the table. And
he's like Andy Kaufman light.
Yeah, basically, a less
acceptable Andy Kaufman.
Basically, a less experimental version of Andy Kaufman. Andy Kaufman, he threw anything there to see if it would stick. You know,
right.
Steve Martin at least had entertaining stuff to throw there. It's like, well, this could at least be entertaining if it's not just relevant.
But Andy Kaufman, of course, is a fan.
Andy Kaufman was the guy who ate ice cream on stage for entertainment value and did nothing more. I'm just saying, you know.
And I think BlueDragonFive, I think Adventure Blue Dude would tell you that that was fucking glorious.
It was, but
BlueDragonFive, Adventure Blue Dude is a big Kaufman fan.
I like Kaufman also.
All right.
But, you know, it'd be hilarious if... It's a shame, Miss Piggy actually met Tony Clifton, so she met Andy Kaufman in some form, but it's a shame Gonzo never really got to interact with Andy Kaufman. I think those two guys could get along.
That would be amazing.
They would have gotten along like that, you know?
They would have, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so then, one of the best gags in the whole episode.
Oh, God.
This is my favorite gag in the whole thing.
Okay, take us.
Well, I mean, I guess the punctuation of it, then. Punctuation of this whole thing. So Sam Eagle wants some good old-fashioned entertainment.
And I think we can all agree, Sam Eagle is, bar none, one of the most awesome Muppet characters.
He is, really. He grows on you ever since he grows on you, you know? Especially since Muppets Most Wanted.
Most Wanted definitely, like, brought him out as, like, a main sort of player, but I think he's always been great, even in his small doses.
And from what I hear... He should be, if I'm remembering this correctly, he should be a member of the FCC on the new Muppet Show.
Yes, that is his role, which is going to be
that to me sounds fantastic.
I think that's probably the best casting out of any of the Muppet casting.
I hear it's like Sam
Although I gotta say, I do love the idea of Fozzie being Miss Piggy's on-screen partner.
Yeah, like he's her Ed McMahon, so to speak. You know?
Right, I do like that idea.
I love the idea of Gonzo being in the writer's room, by the way.
Gonzo, Peppy, and Rizzo. That's an awesome writing staff.
That sounds good. And of course, I'm sure there's going to be some gag just saying, Pepe, listen, I looked at this copy. You can't just say okay after everything.
Okay.
I see what you're saying, okay, but I can't do that, okay?
I just got to express myself.
Michael Pena can't say this, but what if he did, okay?
Oh god, they're writing Michael Pena doing the whole Infinity Gauntlet speech.
Oh my god, I still want that.
I know.
I want Thanos to somehow meet Michael Pena. It's never gonna happen. I'm losing if they got that.
I just want Michael Pena to go on some giant misadventure and be the Silver Surfer.
See, here's how you win.
Gauntlet.
No, here's what you do. Here's how you win the Marvel Universe. It doesn't make any sense, but here's how you win the Marvel Universe. If you just, by the end of Infinity, the post-credit scene of Infinity War being Michael Pena, either the ending of the post-credit scene being Michael Pena explaining to someone off-screen, you see all the events unfold, there's him mouthing the words like Thanos and everyone there, and the end you see who he's explaining it to, and you see a glimpse of the Silver Surfer, and then you see the ending and who he's explained it to Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four.
Yes! Oh my god.
So
that makes no sense how that would actually happen, but that would just be win.
So we need an ultimate nullifier. Okay. Okay, sorry, we're getting a little. Sorry.
Yeah, we are.
Off topic. Okay, anyway, so Sam Eagle, what's his act?
Well, of course, as always, he's very concerned about good old-fashioned entertainment, and he's appalled that the show hasn't provided it. Oh my god, we're gonna get such good gags with him as the FCC.
So Sam Eagle's act here is they got the old part on that right, according to Scooter.
Mm-hmm. This is really fun. Do we ever see them do a performance?
We have seen it in the not on the show exactly, but we've seen it in the Muppets Go to Walt Disney World.
That's true.
They sing with the old lady in the in the little
right. God. But no, this is really unique. It was really fun to see. Like Statler and Waldorf, they're just doing like a full-blown routine for the Muppets. You know, they're actually like they're not even complaining about it. They're getting genuinely into it.
It's an old vaudeville gag.
Yeah, yeah.
Saying it's like an old song. It's Varsity Drag.
They dressed up kind of like the Dapper Dans.
Yeah,
A
something
little
like
bit.
that. No, and then I love Fozzie's heckling them. Who's trying to?
Yeah, he's helping them from the balcony. He's like, "Get off the stage!"
Yep, and then of course the ending. Here's my favorite part of the whole episode. It's just Sam Eagle saying, "Well, that was wholesome and wonderful, normal, decent, moral things." You know, basically we need more normal.
Finally, the Muppets can turn a corner and become a normal, decent, moral TV program.
And then they announce and Scooter announces the next act that we've seen before: Marvin, Suggs, and the All Food Glee Club. And then there's the best line of the whole episode. Sam Eagle says, "For one moment, there was light at the end of the tunnel."
And that's going to be kind of like a foreshadowing of where Sam ends up eventually in Muppets Most Wanted.
You know, this is gonna.
I gotta get away from these weirdos.
You know, I'm just gonna throw you real quick, just another like out there Muppet pitch.
Oh God.
What if they had like another Nixon remake, but with Sam Eagle as Richard Nixon?
England, your thoughts?
It would be interesting.
I'm just saying we're getting a new Nixon meets Elvis with Michael Shannon as Elvis. You know, we say we're getting one of those.
I didn't know about that. Who's going to be Nixon?
You know, for life, I cannot remember who's playing Nixon for this one. I remember like the other Nixons we've had is Frank Langella is Nixon, but I cannot remember who this Nixon is.
Of course, Frank Langella, yeah, and also Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, well, he was great, but yeah, I forget who the new Nixon is. It's someone good. I can't remember who though. Anyway.
What's the movie called?
It's pretty much just Nixon meets Elvis, or Elvis meets Nixon.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. So let's see. So then we got Suggs. Remember, Suggs is the guy who sings with like I believe he was the same. If I'm remembering correctly, he's the one who Frank Oz portrays as Muppet, and he beats the singing kind of trouble-looking things. You know, these singing like little puffballs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's done before, but now he's kind of broadened his horizon by singing with the All Food Glee Club, which is just fantastic.
Which is kind of like a predecessor to Food Rocks in a way.
Yeah. And they sing this one. This is actually really great. This is a very nice musical number, by the way. Just saying, "Yes, we have no bananas."
Oh shit, Kevin Spacey's.
Yeah, that's who. Yeah, I remember.
Oh damn, oh man. Okay, I'm suddenly.
See, I knew it was.
Excited.
I told you it was someone good.
Yeah, that's about the best.
And you gotta remember, Kevin Spacey's great in impression, so you can do Nixon.
And he's been in like 3 or 4 seasons of like a heavily politically charged TV show where he plays a corrupt as hell politician. So.
No, if only Sam Eagle could do the next one.
Oh man.
Okay, anyway, so back to
This is why I'm hoping that this new show's a hit, so we can get like frickin' Swedish Chef. With Swedish Chef dating, Scarlett Johansson and movies like that.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. But yeah, like Kevin Spacey.
I'm gonna start up my own food truck.
Kevin Spacey and Sam Eagle doing a My Dinner with Andre style sketch.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, so continuing, I got Sug singing the "Yes, We Have No Bananas," really lovely musical number, like the all food gags, like tomato ketchup.
I think the Minions would be very upset with this number.
Yep.
Because there's no bananas.
No bananas.
No banana!
No banana!
I'm sorry, I don't even like the Minions.
I like the Minions.
They are very overplayed at this point.
They're fine.
No, they're not.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Moving on.
So we got Kermit and Floyd.
Kermit and Floyd. Yes.
Kermit and Floyd.
First of all, I love Floyd. I think he's one of my favorite underrated Muppet characters.
He got that really great bit in Most Wanted. Remember the whole?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What do we do now? Well, we just we perform again.
We go home.
Yeah. Gives a meaningful eye blink, Yeah. I said something meaningful. Okay.
Okay.
So we got Kermit Floyd talking, about putting together a dinner of some kind. Quick little gag there.
Mm-hmm.
So we got juggling guy,
Oh boy.
rambling
Oh, boy.
guy's relative, and we see Steve Martin again, a multi-talented professional. He can juggle too, which is impressive.
Of course, yeah. And he takes that shit damn seriously.
And he can juggle oranges too.
Right.
He tosses one to Fozzie, which, by the way, is an impressive feat when Muppets catching an orange, by the way.
That's true. I
just want to say that. I just want to give credit. It's always hard for a Muppet to catch anything.
I wonder how many takes that took.
Yeah. But bear in mind, no task is simple among the Muppets when you think about it like that.
Oh, God. I think that the Muppets are just some of the most impressive practical effects, just with anything they do. But especially the stuff that they're able to pull off with the movies. Okay, anyway, so I love when Steve steps on the orange and he's like, "Oh, I've killed it!"
Charlie Brown line if I've ever heard one.
And then, oh my God, I love the chef. Oh my God, the chef is just so great.
Chef comes on with a little juicer.
I mean, let's just give it up to Chef. He just, I think he's the perfect character where you can never have him, be the central focus, but he's the perfect side character to just come in at the most random moments and just have a great bit of comedy with.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, anyways. Where are we?
Next, we got the Zucchini Brothers.
Boom!
Yeah, now these guys have been on before. They get some classic Muppet Show earmarks. The Zucchini Brothers with their human cannonball gag.
Mm-hmm.
So and this is interesting. Every time they light up, they're all prepared for explosion, and it's a dud. It's a dud.
It's a dud.
It's all over. Everything. Oh no, and then
And then the cannon goes off.
Yep, and then Steve with the jug band. They had a little jug band number with those guys. And I remember that we're going to see those again in one of the episodes we're going to talk about, the Gene Kelly episode.
Mm-hmm.
They have a really great bit in that one. But, Steve Martin with the jug band.
So I love the beat that they build up here. It's, again, Steve Martin, he takes his profession seriously.
Now, remember how clever Steve Martin is at Kermit the Frog here, saying, "Oh, we got a number, but I'm sure you wouldn't want to hear it." "Oh, yeah, sure, I wouldn't want it." Basically tricked him into it. Says, "I knew you'd fall for it."
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So, a little, kind of every other previous act is kind of incorporated into this grand ending number, and then, of course, even the cannonball works a second time. Huzzah!
Boom!
Boom! Boom! And then, of course, I love this ending. This is a great ending for Muppet Show. It's with the premise of the show actually never happened. This is all the behind the scenes of the Muppets. So let's talk about that after we cover this last bit. At least overall, the whole actual show. It says, if the show had begun, we would have loved to have Steve Martin, and it was a pleasure not being on this show.
And then he plays banjo kind of over the credits as it fades out, and then the Stat Lord Waldorf ending gag is, "Whoa, that was different. Lousy, but different. Oh. All right.
This overall.
One in the books. Nailed it.
So, anyway, overall, what do you think of this episode with the whole premise of not actually having a Muppet Show with, Steve Martin on there?
Hello?
Hello?
Is he there? I don't think he's there.
I don't know. I think
Okay.
we killed him.
I know. I'm afraid now. Hello?
I'm moderately afraid right now.
He must have stepped away for a little bit. I don't know.
Well, how much did he miss?
I have no idea.
All right. Okay, Tiki, what did you think of this episode overall?
Well, yeah, I mean, as we established, it's very much kind of, breaking some new grounds with the Muppets in terms of, of course, the Muppet Show is very much a show where it relies on a formula. Every episode kind of the same sort of beats go down, albeit the special guest star from episode to episode, of course, keeps things interesting. But this episode was really one of the first, as far as I know, to really kind of take that formula and be like, you know what we're going to do? we're gonna play with it. We're just gonna do an episode where it's just entirely off stage.
Yeah, what's interesting about that is you're going to see a few times, and we've kind of talked about this in other instances, like the Star Wars episode, they do change format now and again. So, I mean, it's like, if they do have a format...
And I love that Star Wars episode.
Of course. And when they do that sort of stuff, you got to remember, it's like they're bringing... It's not exactly falling into a format, just bringing back old gags, just running gags and running bits. So, like, it's like how Saturday Night Live have something...
What I'm saying by the formula, though, is that it's always a classic, like, they'll have they'll have the opening little bit with a celebrity, Scooter introducing them and everything, and then you'll have the theme song, and then you'll have an opening act or two, and then the celebrity will come out, and then you'll have some filler acts, and then the celebrity will come out again, and then kind of wrap stuff up, maybe kind of have some running gags, kind of wrap up, it's all very much kind of the same structure. Like I said, it's the celebrities themselves that make the episodes different.
Yeah, they find those ways to spice them up, like, we're going to have some episodes where just things are going nutty because of certain celebrities there, and always kind of changing up the environment, which is.
But I love the whole conceit of the show being that it's a show where nothing ever exactly goes right. That's the brilliant thing that the show just struck over the head with. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, it's the idea of just kind of a Steve Martin, just the idea they have a guest star who kind of prevails in the bad circumstances, kind of carries the Muppets through. Like, well, this is a bad circumstance. If you, the audience, if you or I in the audience came to see the Muppet Show and were told, well, no show this week, folks, we're just hunting for new acts. And then, of course, we'll stick around if you want to see some stuff. But
honestly, I would stick around to see the auditions.
I know, you and I, what I'm saying in general, the average Joe off the street. We're in the audience, we're seeing it, says no, but then Steve Martin.
Yeah, if me, Tiki, and you, BlueDragonFive, and I'm assuming England would as well, if we're in the audience.
If he's not dead at the moment.
Hopefully not. And I assume Monkey can speak for this too. If we're in the audience for the Muppet Show and they're like, oh, the show's canceled, instead we're doing rehearsals, and keeping in mind we're existing in a universe where the Muppets are 100% real.
Or whatever can fall head over heels in love with a chicken.
Right. We're going to be like, oh, hell yeah, we're staying for the auditions. That's going to be the best part.
There was a charismatic frog as an MC on that stage. How am I not staying for this?
Exactly. Well said.
But yeah, it's always the Muppets can be entertaining no matter what circumstances you put them in. Look, whether the last thing I'm going to say is kind of bridging on the future of the Muppet Show, this new one we got coming. Look, believe me, it's a risk, and I've mentioned this before. And I'm trying to not trade over this for all the episodes we're talking about the Muppet Show, but it's a premise that when I first heard it, it's really different, and it's Muppets pushing some boundaries there. It could be the good part, it could be the good side of the office, it could be the bad side of the office. We don't know.
Oh, God.
But with that, even if it's a misfire, you gotta admit it's gonna be interesting to see the Muppets just in a.
Well, Muppets Tonight, as we'll discuss later on, is certainly an interesting misfire.
I'm just saying, even with just judging from the 10 minutes of it I saw, even if it doesn't, it seemed promising, but that's only 10 minutes of it, and that's 10 minutes of just the pilot. So I'm saying, even if the show just captures those elements of it, and the elements that they had in there, it's just the Muppets in circumstances you haven't seen them in before, and it could be kind of funny to see the Muppets do in their off time when they're making a show. And that in itself, it seems pretty funny. We can still follow those characters, even if the premise and the whole thing altogether doesn't really work. And if obviously it's not going to capture all this. Look, it could do a 180 entirely. Just to be fair, it can completely subvert my expectations. My expectations are it's not going to replace the Muppet Show in our hearts. That's the
of course not. It's not trying to.
Exactly. It's acknowledging
it's ridiculous for any fan to expect it to.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be another.
The Muppet Show is absolutely founded on nostalgia.
And
it's founded on the nostalgia of vaudeville, for Christ's sake.
Exactly. So I'm saying this is the Muppets. This is the Muppets kind of that was them satirizing kind of the old. The old variety shows, and this is them satirizing the new shows we had to watch, the handheld camera shows, the office-style shows. This is them satirizing.
And I do really like the gag they have in that trailer with Gonzo, and I really hate that device.
Yeah.
So I think they can do some fun things with it. I really
exactly. Do. That's what the Muppets do. They satirize things. They pose the question of, well, what does that really look like from the outside perspective? But with these charismatic characters, so no matter what happens, you're still going to like these characters in these situations. So. Sure. Ideally, that's what we're going to see. Even if the show, again, I hope it's not. Even if the show's a disaster, you can still probably expect us to tune into it to see what our favorite Muppets are getting into this week. Whether it be
much
good or
like Gotham, we'll be tuning in whether or not the show itself is a disaster or not.
Now, bear in mind, we're not going to get into the whole
We're very
Gotham.
close to Gotham, and we're not even talking about that shit.
We're not getting into the little Gotham debate now. I'm just saying, there are good elements of that show.
No, right now, I'm just waiting for Gotham because I'm just like, let's see how batshit they can get.
Now, look, season 1
Don't
was
get me
just...
wrong, if they turn it around, great. Good on them.
As a matter of fact, season 1 was just finding themselves. Now they have things figured, so we're going to see how they do with the game
I'm not sure
plan.
if they do. I am not sure if they
Now
have things
they've
figured
said
out.
they formed a game plan, so we're going to see how true to that, how true we can have high expectations for that or not, you know?
Well,
This is them now having...
That's obviously for different podcasts.
Okay, point is, so the Muppets Muppets kind of bringing that charisma against saving a bad situation, which this episode is all about, the fact that we have no show, but Steve Martin's there to save the day. Hooray!
With his banjos.
And still the idea of no show actually took place. That was just like us, the audience, just like us, the stuck-around audience, just saying, oh man, look at all the work that goes into making a Muppet Show behind the scenes. Look how all the hilarity that can still ensue. These guys are great no matter what, you know?
Okay, so I think that about wraps everything up, don't you?
Yeah, you want to check England's pulse while we're here?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully England's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. But in the meantime, next episode of Muppet Show Rewound, we will be joining very special guest star, Carol Brunette! Yay! So, until then, join us next time on another spectacular episode of The Muppets Rewound!
One moment, there was a light at the end of the tunnel.